Richician.
Hello and welcome to part 5, where I count down numbers 20 to 11. So in at number 20 is Stardust Junk. Now, of course, Stardust Dragon is my favourite synchro in the game, and Junk Warrior is also one of my favourite synchros to play. I'm a fan of Yusei, but it occurred to me that I never played a deck based on them. Now, I did, of course, used to play a Stardust Dragon Assault Mode deck, which I kind of regret now, because Stardust Dragon Assault Mode is just an infuriating monster, and yet somehow I keep struggling in tournaments with that deck, so I just stopped playing it. Then I play my Majestic Star Dragon deck, of course, but otherwise I'd play both these cards in my Yusei character deck, and then a couple of years back I realised that I haven't got a synchro-specific deck anymore, except for Black Wings. So I then ended up playing Stardust Junk. It was a pretty straightforward strategy, just basically build a deck designed to set up for these cards and other Stardust and Junk synchro monsters, and it was a lot of fun to do, and still is, of course. I've still got the core, which I've yet to get out and have some fun with, that's really all there is to it. It was just a ton of fun. Just summoning my favourite synchro monsters and just overwhelming the opponents with them, or using their effects to gain some advantage. And that was the general idea behind it. That's really all there is to it. Otherwise, I just play Stardust Dragon in, well, whatever deck I could, just anything that could run some level 8s. And I always want to make sure I have a Stardust Dragon in there, because why not? Number 19, Neos Wise Man. Another fun hero deck to play, although it was one of my weakest ones, just like Evil Hubel here, because this guy is not easy to bring out, but I wanted to play a deck with it anyway. It does have a very awkward summoning requirement, which is to send Elemental Hero Neos and Hubel from my field to the graveyard. Of course, it wasn't impossible, though. There were ways to do it, but it was just kind of hard to set up for, which made it difficult to play and bricky as fuck. But if I did get it out, it was so worth it. And it's just a really cool, powerful monster, just being able to, just with the ability to have effect destruction immunity, which is very nice, and inflicting some neat burn damage, just whenever it battles an opponent's monster, just inflicting damage equal to its attack and then gaining life points equal to its defense points, which was great. Though if it did hit the field, it was a bit problematic to get rid of, but not impossible. Yeah, amazingly enough, I was able to win the 500 subscriber mini tournament with this deck somehow. It was just down to luck more than anything. Like especially in the final against my hopeless anime dragon deck, where me and Billsy, who helped me out with it, kind of had a derp moment regarding Neos Wiseman, which we kind of forgot about. See, we thought that hopeless anime dragon won, but it was pointed out by a subscriber that I actually won, because the burn effect works whenever Neos Wiseman is attacked, not just when it attacks, which I must confess is something I didn't realise until then. So, yeah, technically Neos Wiseman did win something. I'm trying to remember what else was used against it. I forget one of the decks, but I know it beat my Jaden character deck, and actually Rainbow Neos, amazingly enough, although that was down to luck more than anything. Oh yeah, and to be fair, the addition of Neos Kluger was a big help, as it was what Neos Wiseman was supposed to be. Like, I really, really hate how, well, this card was a fusion monster in the anime. The real card was an effect monster, which was near impossible to summon, but Kluger just gets round that and just allows me to float for a Neos Wiseman if that bites the dust, or just however it leaves the field, really, except when it's returned to the extra deck, which is just great. It makes it so much easier to bring out. I mean, I still do kind of have a way to bring it out through its own procedure, but Kluger's just makes it easier to summon. It's just great, lots of fun. Number 18, Neospatians, another of my favourite GX decks, which I started to play in late 2006, early 2007. It wasn't the strongest deck to start off with, and it was a bit difficult to play, but that didn't stop me trying. Yeah, there were a few ways to still bring out the fusions, and they were still pretty fun anyway, regardless. And Miracle Contact was a very welcome addition to the deck. We finally got it as a real card in 2012, but rather annoyingly it was a secret rare and was a bit difficult to get. But I managed to get it eventually, well, a playset, and it just made this deck a lot easier to play, and yeah, the fusions were just easier to bring out, which was just fantastic. Then, of course, Neos Fusion came along, which made it even easier to bring the fusions out, and it was just more playable and could actually hold its own against a lot of decks. And obviously the new support that we'll get in Power of the Elements will no doubt make this deck a lot better as well. But regardless, it's always been a cool, fun deck to play. A particular fond memory I have was when I once beat Demise OTK with this deck. Like, I'm not even I'm not even joking. And this was in a top 8 match as well. Yeah, I managed to make top 8 by pure luck back in 2008. I mean, obviously Demise OTK isn't easy to beat, but it was mainly thanks to Neospatian Dark Panther, because there were a few times where I'd summon it, copy the effect of Demise, and then just nuke the field and make an epic Jaden comeback. Yeah, and other fond memories, of course, included defeating ABCs with this deck, somehow, and True King Dino, like back when it was at full power. And this was before we got Neos Fusion, by the way. Like all three of these victories were victories I didn't think I could pull off, but I did. So it goes to show that they can stand up to meta and even beat things. Maybe not all the time, but still. It's actually kind of annoying that this deck archetype gets hate. Either they're being called crap, or they're kept, or they just complain that they're downgrades from Jaden's original heroes, and they're like, oh, he stopped using his original heroes and started playing this shit. But I'm like, hey, they are not crap. How dare you? And also, Jaden still used his original heroes. He just played them alongside the Neo-Spacians. And you know, it's just kind of sad that people wish that the Neo-Spacians didn't exist. And yeah, I just think the hate towards Neo-Spacians is just really unfair. Like, they did no wrong to anyone, and the fact that I was able to beat 3 meta decks when they were meta with this deck just goes to show that they're not to be underestimated, especially nowadays. Number 17, Arcana Knights, or as some people call them, Poker Knights, or if you want to go by their actual proper name, the 3 Musketeers of Face, or Face cards. But 3 Musketeers of Face is just too long of a name to use, and you know, face cards could mean anything. It's just, I don't know, it's just an odd name, so I'd much rather call them Poker Knights or Arcana Knights. But it has been argued that calling them Arcana Knights makes them too similar to Arcana Force in a way, so maybe I should go back to calling them Poker Knights. I don't know, but I just started calling them Arcana Knights because other people call them Arcana Knights, along with the fact that we have Arcana Knight Joker, Arcana Extra Joker, and Arcana Triumph Joker. I mean, what do you guys think? But anyway, it's another Yugi archetype that I really, really like. I did have a go at playing them in 2010, actually, but it wasn't easy. And then I gave it another go, like, some point after Unexpected Die came along. But it was still kind of hard to play, although the Gem Knight engine did help. You know, Brilliant Fusion and Gem Knight, Lazuli and Seraphonite. You know, they were actually a big help. Just play Brilliant Fusion, send Queen's Knight and Lazuli, drop Seraphonite, Lazuli effect to add back Queen's Knight, then additional normal summon of Queen's Knight, then for regular normal summon, King's Knight, effect Special Jack. It helped a lot, but then of course Brilliant Fusion just had to go and get banned, all because people were just using it for OTK or even FTK purposes, which was kind of annoying, and losing it just made this deck practically unplayable. I mean, I still played it anyway, but it was just so difficult. It ended up getting to that point where I was thinking of just giving up on the deck, because I just couldn't make it work. But then, of course, we got the support from, what's that set? Shit. What is the set we got all the support in? Oh god, why can't I think of it? I need to look at one of the support cards. King's Court, that was it. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Yeah, King's Court actually gave this archetype really good support, and now it's a very good deck. Don't know if it's meta-worthy, but it definitely made this deck so much better and a lot easier to play. Like, even Joker's Straight by itself just helped it out big time. And I love how there was also indirect support for Slifer the Sky Dragon in there as well, because you could actually play Slifer now alongside these guys, just like Yugi did in the anime. And of course Ra and Ra Sphere mode, but I wanted to stick with a pure build, but still play Slifer in it, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's still a lot of fun, and it can do some great things now. So, yay. And I know one of my subscribers just absolutely loves Pokemon Ice and is always asking me when I'm going to do a deck update or when they're going to come back. Good stuff. Number 16, Red Eyes Black Dragon. Although I like Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, mainly Dark Magician, I also really like Red Eyes, as, again, classic boss monster fan, and Red Eyes is one of my favourite dragons of all time. It was actually a pretty easy deck to play, even like in the early days. I mean, even Red Eyes Black Chick made it easy to bring out. Just normal summon it, tribute, special summon Red Eyes Black Dragon, and you were good. Like, it was also something you could search off Sangan as well, or special summon through the effect of Masked Dragon, which is great. And even the additions of Red Eyes Wyvern and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon helped the deck out big time. And made it so easy to play. Well, maybe not so much when Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon first came out, because originally it was a Shonen Jump promo, and it was just too expensive and too difficult to get. But even so, if you could, whether it was the original print or the reprints, it really helped Red Eyes out big time, and just proved to be better than Dark Magician at the very least, and could even be on the same level as Blue Eyes, which was also fairly easy to play, kind of. Actually, maybe this was easier to play than Blue Eyes in the very early days. But of course, the support we got in Clash of Rebellion and Invasion Vengeance really helped this deck out big time and just made it even better. I mean, some say, oh, the support's not good enough, but I disagree. Yeah, there's unnecessary restrictions, but it still made the deck work really well, and it's just better than ever, like, even today. And yeah, there's just so many ways to get Red Eyes Black Dragon out a lot easier and just have some fun with it. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Number 15, Buster Blader. Another Yugi deck that I like. I've always liked Buster Blader, and I found the support we got in Breakers of Shadow to be really, really cool as well. Just getting this guy out, overpowering any dragons it comes across, and just having Buster Dragon turn everything into a dragon to give it more power, and then be really mean and overwhelming with the fusion. Buster Blade of the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Now yeah, it does have an extra deck lockout play, which I'm not too keen on, and I don't think I've ever done that, or at the very least I don't remember doing it myself. But I would do a whole bunch of cool other things with the deck, and just have some fun with it, and getting a few wins with the deck. Sometimes it can brick, but if it doesn't, then it's just formidable fun. Number 14, Summon Skull, another Yugi deck. Summon Skull being one of my favourite boss monsters and favourite fiends. Once upon a time, this was better than Dark Magician, but it's still good enough all the same. Just a simple 1 tribute monster, 2500 attack, easy to bring out, lots of fun. Like even before it got the support in Fist of the Gadget, I like how there's upgraded forms using other summoning methods, except for pendulums and links, because we don't yet have a pendulum version and a link version of Summon Skull, but maybe that'll change in the future. But the other upgraded forms were just great. I mean, I love Manifestation, I really like Awakening. As it was difficult for most monsters to get around. Manifestation gave it a nice boost, and Call gave it targeting immunity, which was really, really handy. But can't beat the original though, and it's nice that they can bring out the original if they bite the dust, and I'm still in a fairly good position, well, most of the time. I wish the deck had more support to make it better, but it's still a lot of fun, and again, that's all that matters. Number 13, Neos Beatdown. I've played a few different Neos decks over the years, but Neos Beatdown was a fun idea for a deck that Ed actually came up with some time ago, which was basically the Neos counterpart to Prismagician, only this seemed to work a lot better than Prismagician somehow. Yeah, it was so cool and a lot of fun, especially when it made Wrath of Neos easier to play. Just summon Prisma, reveal a Neos fusion, send Neos to the graveyard, activate Wrath of Neos, and nuke the field, then play like Oversoul or Monster Reborn to bring Neos back and just slam the opponent. And that was the basic idea and strategy. Rainbow Neos is really fun to play. Neospacians were also really fun to play. And so was Neos Wise Man, although that's the hardest Neos deck to play. But it was just nice to play a deck based on Neos himself. And yeah, it was just so much fun, and there were many different ways to bring it back. Hell, even with Digusto Emerald, if possible. Number 12, Hero City. This was something I came up with back in 2014. Now, Hero City is supposed to be a mixture of 4 other hero decks. Big City, Little City, Bubble Beat and Hero Beat. Now, I have played Big City and Little City in the past, just for the fun of it. I've never played Bubble Beat and Hero Beat, which were cool competitive decks in 2012. But then I thought, wait, why not combine all 4 of them into one epic deck? And it really was epic, and it proved to be really good, and works pretty well, considering. Just wish we had Stratos. It was still just awesome, making cool Xyz plays and cool fusion plays, which could really help. Oh yeah, I didn't even have Super Poly because that was banned as well, but it could still do some cool things. I did have School Drain in there as well, I think. And it was just nice having plays that those other 4 decks could have. I even had Skyscraper to help get over some monsters, Skyscraper 2 Hero City to revive any low-level guys that got destroyed by battle, and just carry on my plays. It was a ton of fun and proved to be one of my best hero decks. I did make hero decks that were better, but it was still great for what it was. And in at number 11 is Prophecy Magician, which is basically the spellbook Prophecy deck, but with Dark Magician thrown in. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, the Prophecies are another spellcaster archetype that I loved. That wasn't Dark Magician. But I still wanted to include Dark Magician because once upon a time it was the main signature deck and an incarnation of Dark Magician that I did play. In the early 2010s. They ran quite smoothly. Temperance helped as well, just being able to special summon Dark Magician or High Priestess. Even High Priestess was just an absolute beast, and really helped out big time, being the Prophecy version of Dark Magician and Dark Arm Dragon. Yeah, notice how they have similar poses and almost similar stats as well. It's just great. I mean, it's not as powerful as Dark Arm Dragon, but still a pretty powerful monster as well. And then there was the World of Prophecy, which was also a formidable boss monster as well, although a bit harder to get out and use its effect. It's annoying if it's in the opening hand, but there are ways to get around it. And yeah, the artworks on the Prophecy and Spellbook cards are just beautiful. I like the concept around them. Even 3 of the cards just see a lot of play outside of the deck, like Blue Boy, Secrets and Knowledge, which I did play in my Dark Magician deck, but it also saw play in my Magician Girls as well, because why not? And competitive players would even play it in Endymion, because why not? Yeah, it's a really great deck overall, and a really good engine in various decks as well. I even ran oh shit, what was the name of the rank 7 Prophecy monster? Well, I do have it right here. Wait, no I don't. Hierophant of Prophecy, there we are. Basically Heavy Storm for the archetype, which I did play in my Dark Magician deck for a while, since I ran the Spellbook engine, but unfortunately don't have room for it. Regardless of what I'm using the Prophecies and Spellbooks in, it was such an awesome deck. And that's it for this part. Stay tuned for the 6th and final part when I cover the top 10. See you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.